two killer promos last week that caught everybody. Poor Will Washington. I saw that he, shout out to Will, by the way, Grapsity Pod on Fightful, big fan. Check it out if you can. He basically ranked like his moments of the week. I didn't look too hard. I just saw his tweet kind of bemoaning the reaction. And he had put Hangman Page number 1 and Bray Wyatt number 2. For the record, that's my ranking as well. But people kind of tore into him for it. But we're here to kind of talk about both of them because I think both really deserve to be celebrated. They're on a par with each other, and they're totally different, which is kind of the amazing thing. Bray Wyatt, it almost took me by surprise how kind of vulnerable and emotional and open he was. Right, I was expecting Wyndham 6 to kick off, and we were going to get the next chapter sort of thing, and maybe there'd be some more reveals. But really, it was actually like an open letter of what he's been through and kind of his redemption, which immediately you're like, wow, I want this guy to do well, right? Like very, very, baby face. His voice trembling and all of that. Hangman Page was fire, right? And I mean that in the sense that he had the intensity, and you could feel he was like talking from his belly. Again, talking about what he's had to come back through and how he wants to take his shot with Moxley and standing there opposite John Moxley, who is a master on the microphone, by the way, during this run. I would dare say he stole the segment, Hangman Page. And it gave everybody that kind of revitalization to want to see him in that spot again, to care about this matchup. And please remember, that is what a promo is for. It's to sell. It's to draw. It's to make you want to watch. I infinitely care more about Hangman versus Moxley this week than I did prior to that promo, SP3.
I mean, I've been saying since this match been made that this feels like this should be on an AEW pay-per-view, not a Tuesday night that might get one of the lower ratings for AEW this week, this year. But I love the Hangman Adam Page promo. It was just so passionate, and it came from a real place. That's when Hangman cuts his best promos.
Yeah.
The cowboy shit promo before Full Gear 2021 is kind of on his Mount Rushmore, but I would place this right up there. I'm a man. Punch yourself in that.
Yeah.
That was just so crazy because you saw the bruise.
His face.
Yes, you saw the bruise get made. I think the only misstep made by this had nothing to do with Moxley, had nothing to do with Hangman. It was putting MJF in the skybox because that took the attention away when all eyes should have been on Hangman out of Page. The fans are paying attention to MJF. Yeah. They're chanting for MJF. That was a misstep by the booking.
It did undercut Hangman's promo a little bit. I still thought he did amazing, right? But I agree with you. Like the random camera pans to MJF where he was a bit like, the faces he pulled.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, that is what MJF would do, right? It's not his fault. But yes, it could have been avoided, basically.
Yeah. And I love the line about, I had to lose the trios championship with my friends, and they seem to be disappearing every single week. And my old friends, well, they have disappeared. That was just a great line, and you just heard the O for the crowd. That was just a great touch, great one-liner by Hangman Adam Page. But I would have to give the honor to Bray Wyatt because his promo, it did sell and draw in a different way. It drew my intrigue because he was just so different than how I thought he would cut the promo just from the very beginning. Like you said, the delivery, the inflection, just the trembling in his voice, the apprehension, the insecurity. You read all of that just from just his body language and then everything he was saying and how he said it. And then to just have the video come up and the mask, black phone, Uncle Howdy version of Bray Wyatt. And the fact that WWE and some of its fans and fans around the world, one of the complaints that they said about Bray Wyatt is that anyone that he feuds with, he kind of kills. He had to turn Seth Rollins and Miz babyface. I mean, heel when he faced them as babyfaces. Like he kind of kills people sometimes. So what's the solution? Bray Wyatt feuds with himself. Brilliant. That is brilliant. You could let that kind of go on for a couple of months, and then his first opponent will feel big. So I love it. I love the Bray Wyatt promo. I love the Hangman promo, but I will give the edge to Bray Wyatt because it made me a little bit more intrigued and interested in what's next for his character.
There you go. You can't lose. You can't lose. Yeah, I like that about Bray, like trying to banish his own demons, like, perpetually. Basically, it's something you can get so much mileage out of. And I'll say it, I've got faith that he'll be able to tell the story properly under a Triple H regime. There's no reason not to believe that at this point, basically. Um, I know that there's probably a lot of people listening thinking, well, there's a lot. When I say a lot, come on now. But yeah, Triple H ain't perfect. Don't get me wrong, right? Like the streets remember Charlotte Flair winning the NXT title. The streets, right? The streets remember Rhea Ripley not getting that payoff.
Hey,
But
hey, you will hear me every week until he gets this right. Damage control. If you want to hear me criticize Triple H, all I gotta say is 2 words for you. No, I'll say 4 words. Damage control, Liv Morgan. She had a good week, but he hasn't been good with her for the first 2 months of his
yeah,
regime.
he did inherit that though. Like damage control is actually his thing, right?
Yeah. Damage control is his creation, and he hasn't done right by them.
No, he
With
hasn't.
Liv Morgan, he kind of inherited her as SmackDown Women's Champion. So I'll give him a clearance on that one. But damage control, no, you gotta fix that. You gotta fix that, man.
You Triple H. But yeah, man. Again, like it's not perfect, but I just think again from the world we've just come from, with the winter years of Vince McMahon, it's like night and day, which is so refreshing.